Hello everybody and welcome to another top 5 board gaming video. It's the beginning of March and you know what that means. It's time to talk about another 5 games that I am really excited about, that look really cool but will probably never play, much less own. And this means we're talking about new releases, upcoming releases, recently released, recently reprinted, all of that type of stuff. I'm very excited to get into it, but before I do so, I do have a very important announcement, and that is in the next month or so I'm going to be moving. And the thing is that I don't know exactly how long I am going to be offline. I'm going to do my best to have some pre-recorded stuff that I can release as I go, but the fact is that I will not be able to make videos for at least some amount of time, some amount of weeks. I don't know exactly how long it's going to be, so I hope that you'll bear with me, and I'll do my best to keep everything updated on Facebook and Twitter and all that kind of stuff, as well as potentially put in at the very least like, hey look, here's my new space and stuff along those lines. But I'm going to be very focused on packing and work and all of that type of stuff, so probably won't have too much time for videos. But that said, as always, I want to know what you guys have to think in the comments below, so share your particular picks for March and upcoming or newly released not videos, but board games. You know I love to hear everything, but with that we're just going to dive right in with my number 5. At number 5, I've got Summit, a game that is reminiscent of K2, which I've talked about in the past, but Summit really expands a lot on the capabilities. You've got cooperative, competitive, and solo play. You have a karma system where you can essentially help or hinder your opponents or cooperative players to boost them up or push them down the mountain, but fundamentally you're trying to climb to the top of the mountain and do it as fast as possible. We don't have a lot of games in this category or with these mechanics, but we've got tiles, we've got cards, we've got dice, we've got all sorts of different stuff. Only reason that it's low on the list is because it's a bit older, from 2017, but still, Summit is my number 5. At number 4, I've got Earth, an upcoming game that is still pretty far out. According to the site, it's not until 2023, but I am legitimately excited for it. This seems like Evolution, but completely on steroids. It's kind of combined with Terraforming Mars, where you are combining the idea of making habitats for animals, as well as building up the animals. You're doing flora, you're doing fauna, you're doing essentially everything that you possibly can in order to make Earth as a planet. The reason that it's so low though is because it is so far away. Obviously we can potentially see a lot of changes, but we have seen some reviews already coming in and it looks great. It looks really solid. It's got some deep strategy to it. I'm really excited to see if I can ever get to play it. Earth, my number 4. At number 3, I've got Dungeons, Dice, and Danger, which comes to us from Richard Garfield, very famous for Magic the Gathering, King of Tokyo, and a whole bunch of other games. Very prolific and very good game designer. This is a relatively cookie-cutter style game where it's a dungeon delve. You're going in, you're trying to defeat monsters and collect treasure. And the thing is that it puts a little bit of a twist on it because it's highly focused on dice, and I'm really curious to see how that works. And especially in the hands of Richard Garfield, because I know that he's very capable as a designer. And so I've got the kid gloves on. It's in the middle of the list. I'm not quite sure how it's going to play out. I don't know if it's out just yet. It's looking like 2022, so I'm not sure if it's out just yet or if it's going to be relatively soon, but either way, Dungeons, Dice, and Danger is my number 3. At number 2, I've got Ark Nova. This is a game that is very similar to a lot of other games I've talked about, including Earth in this particular video, where the idea is that you are trying to create an ecosystem, a zoo, a conservatory, all of these sort of things so that animals can live and be happy in a sort of group. The biggest difference with this particular game that I've noticed, first off, it's relatively new, it came out in 2021, but the other thing is that it really goes into environmental conservatism. Now the thing is, I'm not like a hippy dippy whatever, but I do love the fact that this is a game that is bringing that concept and that idea to the forefront of we do need to think about the environment, we do need to consider the impact that we are having and all of this sort of thing. So you've got the idea of having sponsorships in order to gain money, you're playing cards, you're playing tiles, you're doing all of this kind of stuff. Relatively simple game, but complex enough to be interesting, it seems. Ark Nova overall seems like a great game. I'm really excited to try and check it out. It is my number 2. At number 1, I've got The Lost Code. This one is relatively by far number 1 for this particular list because it has some of the stuff I am most excited about. It's a little bit reminiscent of Hanabi and a few other things like that, where you're using logical deduction based off of information that you know about your opponents, but not necessarily about your own things. In this case, you're trying to decode whatever the message is and whatever the numbers are, and using cipher techniques. I absolutely adore logical deduction games. If you've seen my videos before, this was one that is not released yet. It's coming out hopefully relatively soon. No idea if it's a Kickstarter or whatever it is. It very well could be. Haven't seen any reviews on it just yet. I just saw it on Board Game Geek and there is some good discussion about it. And so I'm super excited for it. I'm really anxious to see it. It's got a really cool theme with like a Mayan Aztec type of thing going on. And so I think it's really cool. It looks like a lot of fun, and it's right up my alley in terms of being logical deduction and figuring stuff out and cracking the cipher and all of that sort of thing. So I absolutely love it and hope that I will get to play it. Lost Code, my number 1. Well, everybody, that's going to be it for me. I hope that you enjoyed this video on my top 5 games that I am really excited about, but will probably never play for March of 2022. Now, once again, I will remind you that I'm going to be moving at the end of this month, and so I'm going to be off the grid for at least a few weeks, potentially more, I'm not sure. Hopefully, I'll be able to get in a few short videos just showing the new digs and all of that kind of stuff, but I'm really going to have to be focused on work and the new place and all of that kind of stuff. So I do apologize in advance, but I am going to do my best to have some videos ready to go so that I can just kind of post them. But again, I'm not certain exactly how things are going to work, so hopefully I will see you all on the other side. And of course, with that, please do take a look and keep track of my social media pages, which is where I will be posting new information, pictures, all of that kind of stuff as things are moving forward. So you can see some more stuff there, as well as hopefully the occasional little like, hey, look at this stuff type of thing. But that said, as always, let me know what you think in the comments below as far as upcoming games. I mean, we are in 2022. The restrictions for large events are reducing, at least in the US, and have been in Europe for a while. So hopefully we're going to see a good convention season this year. I know I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see some of these new games. It's going to be great, I hope. I'm really looking forward to it. But that said, thank you so much again for watching. Hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.